The cabin of the luxurious first-class section buzzed softly, with a murmur of passengers settling in. Mohamed Salah adjusted his seat, stretching his legs as he scrolled through messages from family and friends. It was a rare moment of relaxation, away from the roaring crowds, the flashing cameras, and the pressure of being one of the world's greatest footballers. Across the aisle, Captain Richard Langley, a senior pilot for over 2 decades, was off-duty and enjoying a first-class seat on his airline's flight to Dubai. He had a strong presence, square jaw, neatly combed hair, and a uniform that exuded authority, even though he wasn't flying this particular plane. He sipped his whiskey and glanced around the cabin, his eyes eventually landing on Salah. Langley wasn't a football fan. To him, athletes were just overpaid entertainers, pampered celebrities who contributed little compared to real professionals. He scoffed as he recognized Salah from television. The Egyptian forward was world-famous, but to Langley, he was just another guy who ran after a ball for a living. As Salah relaxed, a well-dressed businessman across from him leaned over excitedly. "Mr. Salah, I'm a huge fan. Can I get a quick selfie?" Salah smiled politely. "Of course." He took the photo, exchanged a few friendly words, and turned back to his seat. Langley chuckled under his breath, shaking his head. The businessman heard it and raised an eyebrow. "Something funny, Captain?" Langley leaned back, swirling his drink. "Just find it amusing, that's all. People treat footballers like gods. I mean, really, what does he do? Kick a ball around, make a fortune, and get worshipped for it." Salah heard the comment, but didn't react immediately. He was used to criticism. It came with the territory. But the businessman wasn't having it. "With all due respect, Captain, Salah's not just a footballer. He's an inspiration to millions." Langley smirked. "Inspiration? Come on. I fly people safely across the world. Doctors save lives. Engineers build civilizations. And yet we're supposed to bow down to someone who scores goals." At this point, several passengers had turned their attention to the conversation. Salah, still calm, finally looked up and met Langley's gaze. His deep brown eyes held no anger, just quiet confidence. "Captain," he said in his soft-spoken yet commanding voice, "I respect your job. Flying a plane requires skill, knowledge, and discipline. But let me ask you something." Langley raised an eyebrow. Salah continued, his voice steady. "When you land a plane, do thousands of children in poor neighborhoods believe they can achieve something greater? Do people escape their hardest days because of what you do? When you retire, will there be stadiums of people still chanting your name because you gave them memories that changed their lives?" A silence fell over the cabin. Langley shifted in his seat. He hadn't expected such a composed yet powerful response. Salah leaned forward slightly. "Football isn't just about kicking a ball. For some kids, it's the only way out of poverty. For some families, it's the only joy they have. When I play, I don't just play for myself, I play for them. To give them hope. To make them believe they can achieve more." The businessman nodded. Other passengers murmured in agreement. Even a flight attendant, who had been pouring drinks nearby, subtly smiled. Langley sighed, rubbing his temples. "I guess I never saw it that way." Salah smiled warmly. "That's okay. We all have different perspectives. At the end of the day, whether we're pilots, footballers, or doctors, we all have a role to play in making the world a better place." Langley sat quietly for a moment, then extended his hand. Salah shook it firmly. "Enjoy your flight, Captain," Salah said with a nod. For the rest of the journey, Langley remained thoughtful. He had spent years dismissing athletes, but in that moment he realized something. True greatness isn't about what you do, it's about the impact you leave behind. And as the plane soared above the clouds, Mohamed Salah, once again, had proven why he was more than just a footballer.